Well, after our most recent visit to the La Brea tar pits, I think it's about time we update some of these photos in the journal. Hey Smilo, get over here, you need to come take a look at this. There it is. There what is, Linksar? It's the you better come take a look at this cliche. Happens all the time before some big dramatic reveal. Well, let's go see what it is. Wait, what? No way. Are you serious right now? It's all over the news. Headlines stating that Colossal Biosciences has claimed to have brought back the direwolf from extinction. And quite frankly, we're not convinced. If I'm being totally honest, I'm not convinced either. There's just something about this that seems wrong and misleading. Dyrus, you're a direwolf. What do you think about this? I don't really know, Smilo. It just doesn't really sit well with me. I mean, they are very beautiful animals. The howling puppy sure melted my heart, but I'm not exactly impressed. This is not exactly what I imagined a direwolf to look like. If anything, I felt like I was just looking at a regular Arctic wolf, kind of like you guys. Yeah, they do just kind of look like regular Arctic wolves to me. And what's most concerning is how much of the world is actually believing this news. Well, I don't know exactly what to believe yet, but I do want to look into this, so the first thing I want to do is hit the books. I feel like refreshing some of our knowledge about one of the most commonly found fossils will definitely do us some good, so we pulled out all the books we have that feature direwolf information. So Dyrus, what do we got here? A lot of information indeed, Smilo, but most of it has been outdated since 2021. So they are. Hey Smilo, do you recognize this one? I sure do, Linkser. We saw it not too long ago when we visited the La Brea tar pits, along with many other direwolves. Well, I think we only have about 3 books that are more up to speed on direwolves. Yeah, these ones here do have more updated information, as well as a more reimagined appearance of what the animal might have looked like. Oh, this card. I remember this card. What about this card, Smilo? The first time I found out about the direwolves, it was all because of this card. My knowledge actually began right here when I first discovered this card. Yeah, it had information both on front and back. I'm sure you all remember our past video that we made showing off our collection of the weird and wild creature cards. The direwolf card is among the thousands of them that we have. And then my knowledge about the direwolf only continued to grow from a documentary called Prehistoric Predators. So I think we refreshed most of our knowledge as much as we could about the direwolf. But in the meantime, why don't you check out some of our very own direwolf photography while we organize our thoughts. Alright, now that we've done our research, Colossal Laboratories and Biosciences announced they have revived direwolves from extinction, unveiling 3 canines it has genetically engineered to resemble the long-dead species. 2 males named Romulus and Remus were born on October 1st, 2024, and a female named Khaleesi, who was born on January 30th, 2025. They are absolutely astonishing animals, but what is the real truth behind their creation? Scientists were able to sequence direwolf DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old ear bone, then used CRISPR technology to edit the genomes of a gray wolf, making about 20 alterations to make it more direwolf-like. When they had the edited genetic material, they put it into the egg cell from a domestic dog, then developed embryos, getting some wolves about 62 days later. That doesn't really sound like resurrecting a long-lost species back from extinction. They just created a genetically modified hybrid, genetically manipulating a gray wolf to look like a direwolf. And that would most likely be the case for any animal that scientists want to bring back from extinction, such as the woolly mammoth, by genetically engineering an Asian elephant to take on woolly mammoth-like characteristics such as thick fur and longer tusks, creating an elephant-mammoth hybrid. Colossal Biosciences responded to doubtful criticism by claiming that if it looks like the animal, then it is that animal, which is ridiculous and ignorant. It's like looking at a jaguar saying that if it looks like a leopard, then it is a leopard, or looking at an eagle saying that if it looks like a hawk, then it is a hawk. How can we be certain what a long-extinct animal really looked like when no living human has ever seen one? So what is a direwolf? A direwolf was a large canid that roamed the Americas during the Pleistocene. They were about 20 to 20 25% larger than modern gray wolves, living and hunting in packs, and had bone-crushing jaws and teeth stronger than any canid. At first, direwolves were long thought to have been closely related to modern gray wolves. Paleo artists have imagined the direwolf to look simply like a giant timber wolf, but according to a discovery that was announced in 2021, the first analysis of direwolf DNA revealed genetic clues that direwolves were not wolves at all, and diverged from gray wolves anywhere between 2.5 to 6 million years ago, changing their scientific name of Canis dirus and reclassifying it as Enision dirus or Enosion dirus. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. No longer part of the Canis genus. So direwolves were reimagined to have reddish-brown fur, more rounded ears, and bushier tails, which are common characteristics of animals that lived in the warmer latitudes, resembling more of a giant coyote or jackal, which the direwolf is now believed to be closely related to. But these are all just rough guesstimations, of course, as we don't truly know what direwolves really look like or how they behaved. With all that said, the physical appearance of these alleged de-extinct direwolves may be really confusing to some, especially the thick white fur. Again, we don't truly know what direwolves really look like, but based on the areas that direwolves inhabited, such as Los Angeles, a pure white animal would seem really out of place in the grasslands and shrublands where latitudes were warmer even during the Ice Age. So there is reason to doubt that direwolves that lived further south had thick white fur coats. However, while direwolves did live in warmer climates, this DNA was found in Ohio and Idaho, closer to the ice sheets where temperatures were cooler, possibly influencing a lighter, maybe even white fur color for northern specimens living in the colder areas. A possible theory that I am open to, as animal patterns and colors can be influenced by the kind of environment they inhabit, enabling them to better adapt and camouflage. I've been hearing a lot about direwolves from Game of Thrones references, and I am aware that that's the direwolf that some people are familiar with, but I found out and learned about direwolves through encyclopedia books, paleo documentaries, and museums for the real animals that they are, not from some fantasy series that represented direwolves as mythological creatures. One thing is for sure, direwolves were not mythological beasts, so I don't know what kind of games people are playing on that throne of theirs, but as far as I'm concerned, these are not the original ancient direwolves that lived during the last ice age. Direwolves went extinct over 10,000 years ago. What's left of them is found in the earth, and it is in the earth that real scientists make real discoveries. What colossal biosciences did was genetically engineer modern gray wolves, modifying them to take on direwolf-like characteristics. Nothing more, nothing less than unnatural man-made hybrids, whether we want to accept it or not. I have spoken for all extinct animals that scientists want to bring back, because I don't want to have to constantly make these kind of videos explaining the flaws of every extinct animal they claim to have brought back. So that is my take on the recent news, but I am aware that there will most likely be some Game of Thrones fans and people with less educated minds who will try to deny everything I just said because they are blinded by all the excitement. This is just what I think, but there are also some videos that I saw that have restored a little bit of my faith, knowing that I'm not the only one who wasn't convinced by these claims. Finally, I would just like to say that I hope Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi live long, healthy lives. Regardless of what they are, I believe they still deserve the same care and protection given to other creatures. So yeah, folks, those are my thoughts, but there's probably a lot that I forgot to mention, so I recommend that you go and check out more related videos from other channels who could certainly do a better job at explaining more detailed information than I could. This is just something I wanted to get off my chest, but that's it for now, folks. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like, share content, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys later.